Hi all, this is an exciting game played from last night, Barnet versus Watford. I was playing someone called Khandaker, who was playing white. He played d4, and after knight f6 I was hoping that he played c4, so I'd try the tango, but instead he played knight f3. And after g6 he didn't let me play King's Engine, he instead played this horrible Hebden hack attack system. Hebden is a British grandmaster who pioneers this against several other GMs with good success. So basically, after bishop g7, he plays e4. So perhaps more prudent, actually, would be to play d5 here, more solid. Because now I've got a kind of uncomfortable perk. And not only that, he plays a primitive sort of hack attack with bishop e3, with the idea of just queen d2 and bishop h6. It all seems to be very routine and simple for white. Castle queenside, rip open the h-file, checkmate the black king. Oh dear, so I'm a bit uncomfortable with this. So I play c6, trying to not sort of play into it, and instead gain some sort of counterplay on the queen side, maybe with b5. After bishop d3 I play b6. Bishop b7 rather, which is slightly dodgy. Maybe knight d7 is better. So he plays bishop h6 anyway, not concerned that I haven't castled, because this is still uncountable. He might be threatening e5 and knight g5s. So here I play b4, and after knight e2 I play a very dodgy pawn gambit. He could have just, after taking on e5, he could have just done knight takes e5, and my compensation is a bit nebulous. For example, knight takes e5, queen e7, knight c4. So I can't take on e4 because bishop e4, queen e4, knight d6. I can play knight d7, but you know, white's got a big advantage here in theory. I might have some counterplay. It might be easy to play though with castle queenside for a bit. At least my pieces are out and I'm not getting hacked. That was my main concern actually. But after d, he kind of chickened out. He played just castles, and so I was starting to be less concerned about my position, especially after this next move, knight g5, because immediately I saw that after knight g4 he hasn't got queen g7 because of queen f6 protecting f7 and the h8. Anyway, in this position he plays queen h4, so his attack's completely gone now after this, because I play h6, and after queen takes g4 just h takes g5, and I'm quite happy now. I might even have rook h4s, castle queenside, and start attacking him. He plays queen g3, and after queen e7 though, he plays queen e3, very sneaky move, targeting my a7 pawn. And maybe, you know, he's discouraging me because he might be playing a3 and ripping open that a file. I don't really want to play b3 when he's got takes and then rook c1 and my pawns are split up, isolate pawns. So this isn't so great. He starts playing positioning, in other words, now. So I castle kingside, and he does go for a3. So he's gone into positional mode. And now he starts improving his pieces, his bishop and knight. First he puts his bishop there on c4, so I don't really want to play c5 at the moment because he could get control of d5. I play king g7 because I also maybe want to prepare rook h8. And after rook fd1 I play rook ab8, allowing a rook to the 7th because I didn't want to exchange off this pair of rooks if I did want to go for this rook h4 doubling rooks plan on the h-file. But after rook a7 I play knight c5, and he doesn't let me get away with this attacking plan at all, because he improves this minor piece now with this nice manoeuvre, knight c1, temporarily on the first rank, but he puts me off this plan, and I play rook a8, just consigned to the fact that I need to just play a bit more stably positionally, so I can't go for this doubling on the h-file. And in this position, after queen d2, he gives me a great opportunity to get a good position again. I play knight b6, bishop b3, but we're both approaching time pressure now, less than 10 minutes each. I play c5, and I'm quite jubilant now about my position, because not only am I threatening to win a piece with c4, I'm also attacking his e4 pawn. So I've liberated this bishop, and it's time to celebrate. But after c4, I have a terrible miscalculation here. I think that I'm winning a piece with b takes c3. I'd actually visualised that b c4, or queen takes c3, c4 again, bishop c4, rook c8, but it wasn't winning a piece. After b takes c3, queen takes c3, I can't play c4 because he's got, for example, knight takes e5, and all of a sudden my king's exposed. So if takes here, then he's got knight d7, winning on the piece back on b6 with advantage. So I was in shock horror here after queen takes c3, and the worst thing about it is I had bishop takes e4 or just rook d8 to d4, simple positional chess. Why was I distracted with this poor calculation? You know, if you want to play good positional chess, then maybe, you know, a healthy mistrust of your calculations, especially in time trouble, if you're tired or something, is good, because then you can maintain your position and not ruin it with bad calculations. So I ruined it. I played bishop bc, queen c3. I played knight d7 now, meekly, defending these 2 points. And he's got a better position now. So he plays f3, and I play f6. And after queen c4, he offers a draw. Actually, he'd offered a draw just after the opening as well, so the second time. And after bishop a6, I offered a draw because I thought my position was starting to be really miserable. And he accepted it. So, it was an exciting game, and when I was on the sort of back foot from the opening, let's have a look overall in conclusions and summary. So, after d4, he tricked me a little bit by this horrible Hebden system. I looked it up on the letsplaychess.com master collection, and a lot of 2500s are simply playing d5 here. And, for example, there's this game Hebden-Lalique. So Hebden played this system a lot, where Lalique just played bishop g7 and c5 later and equalised quite easily. But it was quite stodgy. But this is what players are playing, just d5. They're not allowing white to get in this e4, because it is kind of an uncomfortable perk, especially if you don't usually play the perk with black. You know, and it's also quite scary, actually, this simple idea of weakening the dark squares around the king. Anyway, so I try and avoid castling straight away, and I play this dodgy gambit, which isn't accepted. And we have this funny episode here where I think he just terribly miscalculated this, and I think also he had this idea that his queen would be trapped after queen g7, queen takes g5, queen takes h8, king e7, and his queen would be trapped. But it was miscalculations. The thing that was of concern was this just queen f6 if his queen goes to g7. So anyway, I'd kind of equalised here, but I still have these problems on the queen side because of these overstretched pawns. And when he starts improving his minor pieces, you know, he shows that he's playing positionally, but somehow he went wrong somewhere, just allowing this knight b6. So this queen e3 to d2 was a bad move. He should have kept control of that b6 square. So this was a bad blunder, just allowing knight b6 and then the gain of space. Objectively, I shouldn't be much better here. In fact, white's got a slight advantage according to my analytical assistant. So this looks like a blunder, this queen d2. So after c4, instead of the nice positional move rook d8, with the idea, for example, rook d4, queen d6 maybe later, bishop a6, white will be very, very passive. Black's clearly better here. I didn't play that. I was distracted tactically. So that's the big lesson of this game, not to be distracted so easily for tactics, because they can just ruin your positional play as well as your position. Anyway, after bishop a6, I offered the draw, and it was accepted. So the one conclusion, if there is one conclusion for this game, if you want to play positionally, then if you're getting into time pressure or you're tired, don't trust your calculations so much. Try and play simple positional chess. I hope you enjoyed that video and maybe take something good from this game. Thanks very much, and see you on YouTube.